we want to talk about today is learning how to do the right thing. I believe everybody in here, deep down inside, is a good person and wants to strive to do good. Everybody has got good tendencies in them, and everybody wants to grow up and become a good man. Is that right?
Yes.
So you have to do it by making the right decisions, and your actions is, the proof is in your actions. How you handle situations and what you do. So the A in this is always do the right thing. Now, it's not always to do the right thing. Sometimes it's not popular to do the right thing, but you should always strive to do the right thing. Okay? It means trying to do your best to do the right thing, even when it's difficult, even when it's unpopular, and even when it costs you. You know, it may cost you some friends, because your ideas of doing the right thing may not be the same as your friends. And if that's the case, then you need to kind of rethink your friends a little bit. Okay? So to do the right thing, you've always got to make positive choices and taking good and productive actions. So your actions should reflect upon what you believe in. Okay? We believe that you should seek out, determine what is right, and desire to do what is right, and then you got to follow through with what is right. Always believe what is right. Seek it out. Go find out what is right, what is wrong. Now, as you're growing up, you're going to make some wrong decisions along the way. That's just only natural. Hopefully, you can learn from those decisions and do the right thing next time. So, how do you determine what is right? Every man wants to be a good person. Each individual wants to make good decisions and to earn the respect of others and themselves along the way. We all have hundreds of choices to make on a daily basis. Every day we're making decisions right and left. Some of them are minor decisions. Some of them are major decisions. The minor decisions you can do just on the drop of a hat. The major decisions need some thought involved in it, and it needs some character and background in order to make those decisions. Okay? So how do we figure out to make those decisions? Well, one thing is we do what's called the 80s rule. Take the number 80 and subtract your age. That would be what, about 65? Something like that? 66? Which is about 14? 14, something like that, so it'll be 66. So that's how many years you have to live with your decision. You have to live with that decision for 60-something more years. It could be a good consequence, it could be a negative consequence. But the decisions you make, you're going to have to live with for the next however many years of your life. Okay, and that's called the 80s rule. So, short-term decisions can have long-term consequences. All right? One of them be, for example, like teenage pregnancy. You guys decide that all of a sudden, as a teenager, you've had sex, and the next thing you know, you've got a young lady pregnant. How are you going to handle that? Are you going to have to live with that for a while?
Yes.
Yeah. How many of you know somebody who has gone through a teenage pregnancy? Was it easy?
Yes. No.
No.
Well, she had a lot of support, so that made it easier, but for most other teenagers, it probably isn't.
Yeah. For a lot of teenagers, that can make it very difficult. You know, it can change your plans. It can change your whole life. I'm not saying it's always a bad thing, but I believe it's probably certainly something that you didn't intend to think that you were going to be a father as a teenager, right? Okay, so that's going to change your plans. Well, what if some night you have sex and all of a sudden you come down with a STI, sexually transmitted infection or disease? That wouldn't be cool, would it? No. So the decisions you make, short-term decisions can have long-term reaction. Criminal records, driving records, future employment, all those can be affected by the decisions that you make now. If you put yourself in situations where you get into trouble, it can cost you down the line. All right? I know people who shoplifted at Walmart. Well, that goes on their record and their employment now. Walmart won't hire those people. All right? So that kind of blocks off an avenue. And I don't blame them for, not hiring that person. So decisions you make can affect you down the line. Now, to know what is right and not do it is the worst kind of cowardice. To know what is right and not do it is the worst kind of cowardice. Think about that for a minute. Talk to your table partner. Confucius said that. What do you think that means?
Not doing the right thing, what is not right, and not doing it is bad. You didn't do it.
Casper?
All right, to know what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. What do you think that means, Antonio?
That he knows what to do is right, like it could be a benefit, but he just doesn't do it, so maybe you're dumb or something.
It's like a choice they make. They choose, they know it's right, but they choose not to do it. All right? What does that mean to you, Xavier?
It means that you know what's right, and the only other decision is to do what's wrong, but you didn't do the right thing, so like, it could have, like, you could have done the right thing and helped other people, but you'd rather do the bad thing.
You choose to do the bad thing. That's right. Sam, you and Emerson, what y'all come up with? Kind of what Xavier said. So if you're not doing the right thing, then that's not being a real man. It's kind of cowardly. We don't want real men to think that we're cowards, right? Or we don't want to be thought of as, if we're going to be a real man, we don't want to be a coward. And not doing the right thing according to Confucius, is the worst kind of cowardice. So do what is right, and you won't have room for any regrets. You'll never regret virtue, you'll only regret vice. In other words, you'll never be sorry you did the right thing. How many times you've made a mistake and said, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that, and you regretted it? We all have in here, I'm sure. I know I've made lots of them in my life. Things that I've regretted, wish that I could do over again, okay? But the things that I did good, the things that I did right, I've never regretted that, and will never regret it. Does that make sense? The things you do right, you won't regret. The things you do wrong can cause some regret in your life. Okay, hold on to this thought about virtue and vice, because we're going to talk about it some more in a minute. So, the decisions you make right now is going to create the path that you go on. You're forming and shaping your lives and developing and growing, and the decisions that you're making right now is going to shape your future. So, don't make decisions based solely on emotions. You know, some people get mad, angry, and then they go out and they make a stupid mistake. They get mad at somebody and go get in a car, drive fast, have a wreck, hurt somebody. Okay, that would be just one example. Get angry and then do something that they'll regret later on, and we want to try to avoid those regrets. Don't make decisions when you're angry, upset. Use your head and your heart, but use your head first. Right? You all heard when you're upset and angry, count to 10, right? We've all done that. What's the purpose of that? Xavier?
It gives you time to think.
Time to cool off a little bit and think with just a little bit clearer head, because when we're angry and upset, you know, we don't think like we should, okay? Think of the consequences before you act. Have fun, but be responsible. You can put on your fun hat without taking off your thinking cap, okay? Have fun, but be responsible. Make good decisions and leave no room for regrets. Here's that thought again, man, I wish I'd have done that. What was I thinking? Or, man, I wish I'd never done that. What was I thinking? Okay? So you got a choice to make. You can do the right things and have no regrets, or not do the right things and then have regrets about it later on in life. So, tips and advice for making good decisions, the publicity test. If you're about to say or do is broadcasted live, would you still do it? You'd think about what you say before it was broadcasted live, wouldn't you? Okay. The parent test, if your parents were to find out what you did, would you still do it? Probably not, okay? All right, only if it was a positive action. Guys, things that are stay in the dark have a way of coming to the light. Things that you think your parents don't know about, sometimes they come to the light. Parents just kind of know, don't they? They figure it out. So the eternity test, imagine that the decision you're about to make was what you were judged on for all eternity. Would you still do it? Would you get into heaven, or would it keep you out? The everyone in the world test. If everyone in the world follows your lead and makes the same decisions, would the world be a better place? So would the world be a better place if everybody did what you did, followed your lead? Or are you going to make the world a little bit worse place if everybody did the same things that you did, if it was negative? Your future children test. If you had to tell your children what you did, would you be setting a good example? Would they be proud? And would you be proud of what you did? Someday you guys are going to be fathers. Okay, and you're going to be blessed probably with sons and daughters. And if you have a son that's kind of special, as a man, you can teach him the things that you know. And hopefully they grow up and you teach them things that you've learned and your life lessons to guide them and help them to grow up and be productive men. That's hard to do, okay? So, choosing success. Let's go back to virtue versus vice, though. I told you I was going to go back to that. All right. Take a second to read what that is about virtue and vice. What is the definitions of it? Virtue and vice is about explaining the good characteristics, the good and the bad characteristics of humans. Okay? Virtue stands for the good deeds. Vice is for the bad deeds or the evil side of people. There is an evil side to some people, okay? And vice stands for that. When a person grows older, she cultivates both virtues and vices according to his or her wish. Thus, a person does not become virtuous by birth, but his or her actions decide whether she is good or bad. So your actions are going to show your virtues or your vices, your good side or your bad side. Think of it as kind of like the angel on one shoulder talking in your ear and the devil on the other shoulder talking in your ear. You know, you've seen that on TV, right? All right, so what is virtue? Well, guys, virtue is the attitude, belief, and behavior of attitude and high moral standards that humans possess that show love, compassion, and charity and kindness to others. All right? Vice, on the other hand, is the opposite of virtue. Vice stands for the bad or immoral behavior or thoughts of a person. They're also acquired qualities. Okay? Acquired, that means you gain them. You cultivate them as you're growing up. It's the thoughts and things that you do, that you allow yourself to do, whether it's virtuous or if it's vice. Okay, these qualities bring dishonor or rejection in society, cruelty, unkindness, greed, vindictiveness, malice, and etc. are some examples of vice. Now, any of you guys not understand any one of these words? Vindictiveness, malice, unkindness. Y'all know those words? Which one, Emerson? Huh? Vindictiveness, that means you're out to get somebody. You feel like somebody's done you wrong, so you're going to be vindictive. You want to harm them in some way. You either want to cheat them, steal from them, lie to them. What a vindictive means, you're out to get them. Anything else? Malice is with hatred in your heart. If you do something to somebody with hatred in your heart, you are presenting malice. You did it with malice, hatred in your heart. All right? So what is the difference between virtue and vice? Virtue basically stands for the good deeds and thoughts of humans, wherein vice indicates bad or evil side of people. Both virtues and vice are acquired qualities and can have, acquired qualities, a person can have a choice in selecting one over the other. What are you going to choose? Are you going to choose virtue or are you going to choose vice? Do you want to be that person who is vindictive, have malice or hatred in your heart, the evil side of you, or are you going to fight that out? Okay. Also, an evil person can later become virtuous by cultivating good qualities. Just because somebody has a lot of vices, not very virtuous, that doesn't mean they can change. They can change, they can cultivate it and turn it around. Virtue brings pleasure, whereas vice is thought to bring sadness in one's life. Somebody who has a lot of vices is not really happy. They're not happy. Virtue brings pleasure, love, kindness, compassion. All those things bring pleasure to humans. Both demonstrate a person's character and morality through which can be determined a person's conduct. Are you going to let your virtues show or your vices show? And in conclusion, it's obvious that always a person has a choice, and everything depends over the choice that person makes. All communities and religions encourage virtues over vice, and virtues always reward people where vices are refused by all. Okay? So you learn your virtuous side of you from your family, your religion, hopefully your teachers teach virtue over vice. Where do you learn vices from? The bad side in people. Where would we learn that from? Jacob?
Like maybe like you got in a fight with someone maybe?
So you got angry, got in a fight with somebody, and that brings out the bad side in you?